Continuous rains brought about by the southwest monsoon or habagat triggered flooding in some parts of Metro Manila. The health department reported more than 6,500 new COVID-19 cases, the highest since almost a month ago. Intensified contact tracing is now underway for the Delta COVID variant cases detected in Misamis Oriental and Cagayan de Oro. In sports, the International Olympic Committee picks Brisbane, Australia as the host for the 2032 Olympics. And the Milwaukee Bucks makes history after winning the NBA title for the first time in decades. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Typhoon Fabian has maintained strength as it continues to move westward. State Weather Bureau Pag-asa says that Fabian is unlikely to directly bring heavy rainfall across the country, but the typhoon is still expected to reach its peak intensity on Friday before leaving the Philippine area of responsibility on Saturday morning. Typhoon Fabian and Tropical Storm Sempaka have aggravated or enhanced the southwest monsoon, triggering floods in parts of Metro Manila. Knee-deep flooding was experienced in Manila along Times Plaza earlier this afternoon, while the flood hit gutter-deep in some areas of Mandaluyong. The MMDA says that floodwaters in roads that were rendered impassable by the continuous rains have now subsided. And the non-stop southwest monsoon rains brought inconvenience to Manileños who lined up for COVID-19 vaccines earlier today. Romel Lopez with a report.
Residents lining up for COVID-19 vaccines at the San Andres Gym in Manila had to endure gutter-deep flood while waiting for their turns. Some of them expressed dismay over the supposed lack of system and the inconvenience brought about by the incessant rains.
Nilalamig ho kami din eh. Kanina pa kaya kami yung alas 4. Hindi pa ako nakakaihi. Tapos ganito pa ang aabutan namin. Di ba po? Sana sa susunod kuya may numbering na para alam naman natin. Ito po wala na pong social distancing na nangyayari sa amin. Tapos nauulanan kami ng ilang oras dito. Then syempre po tingnan nyo po. Baka mas mauna pa kaming magkasakit sa trangkaso bago pa kami magkaano ng, di ba?
One residents braved the floodwaters for fear of contracting the more infectious Delta variant.
Wala tayong magawa eh kasi nandito na eh. Umulan bumagyo, nakapila na kami ng 5:30. Tinuloy na lang namin kahit ganito. Umuulan, basta nakabaksin lang.
It was only around lunchtime when the vaccinees were able to enter the gym. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno himself was on the ground during the inoculation. He apologized to those who got drenched in the rain and assured that they would all get vaccinated.
Walang nabasa, walang nabaha, nauuwing luwaan. As you all know, from our 1,500 or 2,000, we have reinforced our vaccine load in this area. At kanina nga kinakausap ko yung mga tao, sabi ko pumanatag kayo, hindi ko sasayangin ang araw ninyo.
Meanwhile, Moreno said Manila is on its third day of a downward trend in COVID-19 cases. Doctor Research Group earlier reported that Manila saw a significant increase in the cases last week.
I'm happy to share it to you. Today is our third day of decline in COVID infection. This is our third day decline, continuous decline, a good sum of number, decline in infection in Manila. One, I attribute it to the people, maybe they are behaving properly. I attribute it to our tracer, tester, and sa isolation team. Then I attribute it to, maybe the vaccine.
For News 5, Romel Lopez, we are One News.
Still on COVID, 4 close contacts of a Delta variant case in Cagayan de Oro City have tested positive for COVID-19. In today's palace briefing, Cagayan de Oro Mayor Oscar Moreno said the city's index Delta case is a resident of Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon. Moreno added that the close contacts of this patient were his relatives residing in Cagayan de Oro City. So far, 5 Delta variant cases have been recorded in Cagayan de Oro.
Again, like I said, gathered and put in a temporary treatment and monitoring facility and tested, no? And according to the test result nung Saturday, isa negative na. Yung tatlo, positive pa rin pero mataas ng CT value. No, pero nonetheless, normally ano na yan yung kino-cover na yan ng certified recovered, no. Pero anyway, nandyan pa rin sa ating facility, and I think ang decision is they'll be kept in the facility until their RT-PCR result will show negative.
Meanwhile, 2 close contacts of 1 Delta variant case in Misamis Oriental have also tested positive for the virus. Governor Bambi Emano said that their samples had already been shipped to Manila for genome sequencing. The governor added that they're eyeing to implement stricter quarantine restrictions should more cases of the Delta COVID variant emerge in Misamis Oriental.
If it spreads, then hopefully we can get the nod of the IATF National that we will request for an ECQ for the province of Misamis Oriental so that we'll be able to put stricter measures.
An infectious diseases expert warns that there could already be local transmission of the Delta COVID variant in the country. Dr. Ronjean Solante explained that some reported Delta infections did not have any contact with returning overseas Filipinos. However, the health department has maintained that it has yet to determine whether there's already local transmission of the more contagious Delta variant here in the Philippines.
There are those cases na hindi related doon sa returning OFWs, no? So there are what we call local cases. And that demographs, then I would say mukhang merong local transmission ang Delta variant.
On Wednesday, the DOH reported over 6,500 new COVID-19 cases. This is the highest since June 26. There are now 1,524,000 total infections in the country, nearly 48,000 of which are currently active cases. 32 more people died of the disease overnight, pushing the death toll to over 26,800. Total recoveries are now at 1,449,000, with 5,300 new recoveries logged in the past 24 hours. Here are some other stories we're keeping our eyes on. More than 80% of the new COVID-19 cases in the United States have been attributed to the Delta variant. Daily COVID deaths in the U.S. has averaged at least 239 last week. Malacanang says that there is no reason for President Duterte to apologize over his verbal punches against Senator Manny Pacquiao. Palace spokesman Harry Roque said Duterte's pronouncements are all part of the free market place of ideas. Pacquiao's ally, Bacolod Congressman Monico Puentevella, earlier demanded for the president to issue an apology to the senator. And the Supreme Court has dismissed petitions on the country's unilateral withdrawal from the ICC or International Criminal Court due to the lack of legal standing. In a March ruling that was only released today, Associate Justice Marvic Leonen wrote that the president is allowed to make preliminary determinations on what might be required as regards to foreign policy. And Brisbane, Australia has been picked to host the 2032 Olympics. Hundreds of people from the Australian city gathered to watch the IOC or International Olympic Committee session as it becomes the third city down under to host the Games. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said Australia knows how to deliver a successful Olympic game. And some 65,000 fans in Milwaukee's Deer District erupted in celebration as the Milwaukee Bucks won their first NBA title in half a century. The crowd began screaming as soon as a final buzzer sounded. The Bucks defeated the Phoenix Suns 105-98 to win the series in 6 games. Giannis Antetokounmpo was named Finals MVP after a dominant run capped by a 50-point performance in Game 6. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Shawn Yao. We are One News.